And with that, we continue our look this week at President Obama's key foreign policy challenges 1 year into his term. We call it Obama and the World. Tonight, we focus on Afghanistan and Pakistan. Joining us tonight, Ahmad Kamal, Pakistan's former ambassador to the United Nations, and Hassan Abbas, another former Pakistani government official who is now with the Asia Society and is a professor of international affairs at Columbia University. And thanks to both of you gentlemen for joining us. Before we do get to the big picture, I want to focus on the news that we have just seen, and that, of course, is all about the feasibility of some sort of negotiated settlement with the Taliban. What are the chances that can happen?
Well, it's welcome and overdue evolution of American foreign policy that is taking place. So far, American foreign policy was an extension of the Bush doctrine, which was to find a military solution in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, based on the concept of cut off the head of the snake and everything will fall into place. This doctrine, which was evolved originally by Israel, did not succeed in Palestine, did not succeed in Iraq, and cannot succeed in Afghanistan and Pakistan, because the militants draw their strength in their objective, which is panic and attrition. They draw their strength from a public unhappiness, which is based on an opposition, a public opposition to their own government and to US policies. And so that oxygen has to be dried up. And that requires a change in US policy towards dialogue, and dialogue which hopefully the American public will support now.
I just find myself wondering about the timing of this, though. Is it a little sudden?
It is a little sudden, yes, and after agreeing with the ambassador, I would like to look at it from a different perspective. Number one, how do we define Taliban? If these are the same Taliban who we were fighting for the last 8 years, using American taxpayers' money, failing miserably, then what's the purpose? I think they may have a different interpretation, a different definition of Taliban, number one. Number two, the whole issue is that all Pashtuns in that area, some of them who don't want outside forces, they are not all Taliban. And secondly, there have to be, no doubt, different ways, means through which you talk to the people of Afghanistan. If we are talking about a negotiated deal with Afghan Taliban, who were the killers and butchers, I don't think that is possible.
Defense Secretary Gates, in addition to talking about power sharing, as we've heard, also said he doesn't believe the Taliban will even entertain this possibility unless it has concluded it can't win militarily.
That's not correct. It is the essence is not with the Taliban and their understanding of whether victory is around the corner or not. The essence lies with American foreign policy understanding that a military solution is just not possible, and that you have to find a political solution both in Afghanistan and, far more importantly, in Pakistan. Afghanistan is not a patch compared to the problem of Pakistan, because Pakistan is larger. It's 170 million people. It is a hopelessly divided country, divided politically, divided provincially, divided economically, and it has a highly inefficient and inept government. That is where the essence of American foreign policy lies. And American security lies in finding a solution to the economic problems, both of Afghanistan and of Pakistan, and of course, to its own job creation in the United States.
All right, let's take a look at things more broadly. Here we are 1 year into President Obama's term. Can you tell us a little bit what's happening in Afghanistan militarily? What's going on the ground?
Nothing.
Nothing. We're about to have a huge troop surge there, though.
I would argue that we are stuck between two extremes. For the last 8 years, we were saying falsely, in my view, that we are doing a nation building. No one can do nation building. Yes, maybe state building in some ways. And now we are saying, no, it will only be, for some time we were saying there'll only be a military option. President Obama took a long time. We can defend that he took a long time to review, but we cannot defend inaction. This is the time to implement that policy, state building to some extent, accepting the realities, involving the regional powers. unless we will involve the regional countries. And I see some hope. There have been many political leaders and military leaders who have been going to Pakistan. Hopefully India, China and others will be involved.
So 1 year in, is our foreign policy with respect to Afghanistan succeeding?
No, not succeeding, but some of the elements which can become part of a successful story and successful policy are being put in place.
You agree?
Absolutely. It is evolving. It's evolving in the right direction, and therefore there is hope that this evolution will lead to success, both in Afghanistan and in Pakistan.
Now, all of this talk about negotiated settlements, however, coincides with a very aggressive use of these unmanned predator drones, particularly along the Afghan-Pakistani border.
Yeah, that's part of the same policy of the military approach to the problem. Drones cannot solve the problem because the concept is to cut off the head of the snake. The collateral damage is far greater than the head of the snake. And the collateral damage then sets off a snowball effect of opposition to the drone attacks. And you see that in Pakistan. In Pakistan, there is enormous opposition to US policies, particularly with reference to the drone attacks.
Does the use of the drones set us back, do you think?
The problem is, yes, we have converted a tactic into a strategy. By killing 4 alleged terrorists, we are creating 10 real terrorists. So it can be a good tactic if al-Zawahiri is taken out. If Osama bin Laden is taken out, I think everyone will be very happy. But that has not happened.
Let me get you very briefly to look ahead 1 year. What do you think should be the main priority in the next year of President Obama's term?
I think a regional approach involving the regional countries, improving the relations with the Muslim world overall, which President committed in Cairo, in Turkey, that is the way forward.
Come up?
I agree. The regional approach, which unfortunately means including both Iran and India in the Afghanistan-Pakistan context.
All right. Thank you both, Ahmad Kamal and Hassan Abbas. We appreciate your being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.